Indonesian horror films, even in ghost house genres, evoke intense terror. This shot made the film Indonesia's 2024 box office champion. I'm back with another horror film review, this time for the 2024 Indonesian movie Haunted Realm. The film is based on Indonesian folklore and blends witchcraft with local spiritual culture. The cursed countdown atmosphere intensifies the terror and tension experienced by viewers. The story takes place in a hotel called Ambarman, where Dia starts her first day of work. An old lady warns her not to go to the third floor. Dia starts her cleaning job, but is interrupted by unsettling crying sounds coming from the supposedly under-renovation third floor, raising questions about the old lady's claim. Curiosity makes her forget the old lady's warning, and Dia goes up to the third floor alone. She presses her ear against the door, hearing faint sounds. Is someone locked inside? She tries to open the door, but it is tightly locked. As she prepares to leave, the door opens on its own. A musty odor in the hallway suggested the place hadn't been cleaned for ages. Dia wasn't frightened by the mournful sound. She simply turned on the lights on the third floor. She followed the sound to the hallway's last room, lacking a door plate. Let me see one up. However, no one responded inside. Unable to resist her curiosity, Dia gently pushed the door open and saw a person dressed in white sitting in front of a mirror. He softly spoke 4 words to Dia. Dia couldn't grasp its meaning, but she vividly remembered the man's appearance. Don't get too close to us. Dia warned her daughter about her unsettling experiences, and with several strange occurrences happening these past few days, Dia suspects the issue involves the third-floor residents, while her daughter suggests praying for peace. But just as she was halfway through her prayer, a sudden flash of lightning and thunder erupted outside, and a terrifying figure crawled out of the mirror. Dia trembled uncontrollably, sensing something dreadful behind her. She gathered courage to look, but found nothing behind her. Terrified, Dia immediately lay back down on the bed, covering herself with the blanket, as if that would provide her with a sense of safety. A voice suddenly reached her ears at that moment. The daughter, awakened by noise, discovered a horrifying scene. Dia was brutally skinned and dead in the room. 3 days quickly passed since the incident. Today was also the day Reina inherited the hotel left by her father. Upon arriving at the hotel, her grandparents warmly welcomed them and arranged their accommodations right next door. Before taking over the hotel, her grandmother warned Reina and her friend to avoid the third floor, which was under renovation. Reina ignored the warning at first, but later saw lights on the third floor while on the rooftop. The grandmother stated the third floor was unoccupied due to renovations. So why were the lights on? Reina explored the hotel's third floor by herself. Upon arrival, she heard a miserable crying inside. Reina, believing someone was trapped inside, used a hammer to break the lock and open the door. Reina turned on the hallway light, which flickered. It looks particularly eerie. He followed the sound to a room without a number. Reina called into the room several times, but no one answered. He forced open the door and found a woman in white in front of a mirror, who then repeated the same 4 words to Reina. Reina, not grasping his meaning, saw the woman didn't need help, so she closed the door and left. The next day, as Reina was sending her sister to school, she discovered a blood red 1 on the car window. Thinking it was a prank, she looked around but found no one. When Reina looked again, the blood red number had vanished, as if it had triggered some kind of countdown. When Grandma found out Reina had visited the third floor and heard the odd phrase, her expression shifted significantly. The unusual death of the former waiter attracted police attention, making the hotel a key investigation site. Reina was about to approach her grandmother being questioned by 2 police officers when the front desk phone rang. The guest in room 13 requested Reina to bring new towels right away. Reina delivered towels to a guest who, claiming to be in the shower, requested she leave them on the bed. However, after waiting a long time without hearing a response, just as she turned to leave, she suddenly heard crying from the bathroom. Reina thought the guest was in trouble and kindly inquired. However, there was no answer from inside. Unable to resist, Reina gently pushed open the bathroom door, only to find it completely empty. Reina hung up the phone out of fear. Reina called the front desk to check if anyone was in the room. Reina was informed by the front desk that room 13 was vacant. Reina was shocked, wondering who had just been in the bathroom. Reina felt an icy chill run down her spine, sending shivers throughout her body. Just as she turned to leave the dimly lit room, it seemed that a shadowy figure was standing ominously behind the heavy curtain. Curious and frightened, Reina crouched down to see more clearly when suddenly the old carpet across the room shifted unexpectedly. Still shaken, her ex-boyfriend Mike came over. Startled, Reina told him what had just happened. Mike bravely walked into the room, but it was completely empty. The hotel's supernatural events scared the staff into resigning. Eventually, Grandma revealed the truth to Reina. The cause of everything was all because of the third floor. Raina's father opened the hotel 6 years ago, and during renovations, a worker discovered a woman in white with blood-red eyes in one room. Strange occurrences surrounded the worker, who tragically died 3 days later in a bizarre skinning incident. The shaman, sensing the terrifying presence of an evil spirit, lacked the courage to enter the room. The shaman suggested they permanently seal it. Grandma and the others sealed the third floor. The waitress from the story unintentionally opened the door to the third floor and discovered part of the truth. Raina aimed to keep the third floor sealed to protect her sister. Raina's sister informed her that she heard crying from the third floor and had visited that room. Hearing this, Raina felt very regretful for not warning Leah sooner. Raina and her sister returned to the shaman to break the curse. The shaman explained that he couldn't help unless they discovered the evil spirit's name to communicate with it. The shaman cautioned them that they had only 3 days to act, or they would perish like the last staff. Raina and the team sought information overnight. Despite various efforts, they found no information on the evil spirit. Raina saw lights on the third floor and felt inspired that the secret might be hidden there. Raina planned to search the room alone for clues, but Mike and the others, uneasy, chose to follow her. Raina opened the door, her heart racing, and found the room eerily quiet, hearing only their heartbeats. Although everyone was terrified, they had to suppress their fear and search the room to break the curse in 3 days. Raina found a broken tile under the bed, and when she flipped it over, there was a torn note underneath. This note may connect to the evil spirit. Raina was about to call Leah to leave when she heard a series of sharp banging sounds. Following the sound, Raina found Leah repeatedly banging her head against the wall. Raina rushed forward to grab her, but the sound she made was clearly not that of her sister Leah. Then Leah suddenly hung on the wall in a peculiar, almost unnatural position and quickly lunged forward at Raina with surprising speed and agility. Mike rushed in to pull Leah away, but Leah surprisingly had great strength and threw Mike off. Just as Leah aimed at Raina again, Mike knocked her down from behind. Leah, who was knocked down, regained her senses, and the figure of the evil spirit appeared before them again. Hearing those familiar words, the three hurriedly helped each other leave the room. Mike, who was previously unscathed, is now cursed. Raina discovered a note with the word angel on it, and after much contemplation, they speculated that an evil spirit may have resided there. The grandparents pulled out 2 notes after listening. They found these while cleaning other rooms, under the bed. After thoroughly searching each of the rooms, the notes they discovered perfectly combined to form a single page, resembling a heartfelt love letter left by Raina's father. Raina described the evil spirit's appearance to the village chief after they arrived at a village. The village chief left in silence, appearing angry. The chief's wife secretly informed Raina and the others after he left. The description they provided was actually of the village chief's daughter. Her name is Minner. Years ago, Minner was born here and faced discrimination from villagers who viewed her unique appearance as demonic. When she turned 20, she left the village and never returned. Lost in the forest, Minner met Raina's father, who kindly took her back to the hotel. Over time, they developed feelings for one another. One day, Raina's father went to Jakarta for business. While waiting, Minner hid Raina's father's letters under the bed, so they could play hide and seek when they reunited. Raina's father never came back after that. Minner went to Jakarta searching for Raina's father, only to find he was now married to someone else. Minner took his own life on the hotel's 3rd floor. Raina and her group returned to the shaman after identifying the evil spirit. The shaman attempted to communicate with an evil spirit, but was overwhelmed by its resentment and ultimately strangled to death. Leah's family, feeling lost after the departure of their only help, discovers a letter from her father and an engagement ring meant for Minner. Raina's father didn't abandon Minner. He went to Jakarta to retrieve an engagement ring, not for work. He had an accident on his way back and lost his memory. He accidentally ended up marrying someone else. Upon regaining his memory, he found Minner had already taken her own life. After burying Minner's body in sorrow, Raina's father vanished from the world. Knowing the truth, a few devised a plan to calm the evil spirit, with Mike contributing an idea. He quietly drank while selling satay noodles there. Relatives kindly asked them to please give whatever items they would like to donate. It's important to consider not just love, but also the feelings of others. Raina and her group sought the grave of the evil spirit using the ring they found. Unbeknownst to them, an evil spirit had been trailing them, linked to Raina's father's plum blossom mark, leading them to its grave. As they dug up the grave, Mike transformed and, under the spirit's control, violently attacked Raina. At a crucial moment, Raina placed the ring on the remain's hand, allowing the spirit's resentment to fade upon discovering the truth. With the spirit's control lifted, Mike awoke, and after Raina and the others broke free from the curse, they returned to a peaceful life. The next day, Rena found Mike dead and skinned when she went to wake him for breakfast. The evil spirit remained, still vengeful towards those who heard it, cursing anyone who entered the third-floor room to death.
Yeah.